Welcome to SDH's look at everything going on in the Southeast Conference of the NPSL. Before we get you into match week number 8, let's take you backward and get you through match week number 7. The match of the week that we're going to focus on this go-around comes to us from the University of West Georgia. And it was a big night for Georgia Storm going up against LSA Atletico Lanier. Here are your highlights courtesy of 11 Sports, the NPSL, and the Georgia Storm their own selves. Luke Winstel on the call for the Storm.
The ball next to Fitzgerald, who seems likely to take it. Fitzgerald puts a charge into it. What a shot! Fitzgerald puts it in the net quickly on a set piece. That's fantastic, right? As LSA Atletico is trying to get their lines organized, the referee gives the go-ahead to Fitzgerald, and he puts it in. They don't get much better than that. And here you go, the chopper. Keeper nearly got there, but that is such a tough ball to defend. Another look here. Hit off the post as well to find its way into the goal. In the midfield, the goal from Fitzgerald has definitely found good results early on. Chupa breaking forward. Chupa cuts it in on the right foot and places it in the back of the net. Well, Chupa cuts through defenders, puts it in, and now it's a 2-0 lead for the Storm program. Romero spins it over. Closing into the 18. Bicycle kick attempt and a goal! LSA Atletico, what a piece of work. In the 18. And here it is, Guevara chopping it in. This ball centered, knocked forward. I believe it's Max Garnett with the ambitious attempt buried in the bottom corner. Well, there's Garnett, the bouncer on the bike, and oh man. Well, how about that? Got it with the right foot, right corner. All kinds of fireworks here early on between these two teams. Tony Berry puts his leg into it. Off the post, and it trickles in. Penalty kick goal. Berry with the celebration coming over towards the Georgia Storm supporters. Well, some fantastic work. He's trying to poke this ball in the left corner with the right foot, trying to go cross goal. Gets by Sané, takes a second. The ball decides to just hop in there. And here's your look from the field camera, a little goal line angle on it, and that just tucks in the goal. This ball chopped on by Alvarez, up to Chupa. Fantastic positioning, now into the 18 for Berry. On the left foot, he'll put it up a rack for a goal. Well, that's another goal coming for Berry. Point blank range, he decides to go high under the bar. And take a look at this. On his right foot, defender closes, he takes it with the left and does away with it. Berry shielding, pushing high. He just bangs it right over the top of Sané. So Berry scored now in the 32nd minute and the 41st minute. Advancing on. The Storm will play towards the backside of the 18, off the chest and put by Sané for an early goal. Just getting into things in the second half of play, and the Storm have struck again. It's 5-1. Well, anytime you can get 5 goals in a match, you love it. But right now it's in about 46, 47 minutes of play. That goal, it looks like, is a hat trick for Berry. I believe that is going to be his 3rd goal. It was Berry that had that one. Oh, on the left side, a touch forward. Heavy, kept in. Salako, one touch, and he's got it. Gabe Salako with the goal. In the 67th minute, his first of the match. The reserve gets it done. Put and serve. 15 yards from goal, Salako gets in and puts it by Sané. Sulaco picks up his second goal of the match. It is 7-1. We hit the 90-minute mark. That one's going to come in the 90th, we'll say, to Sulaco. Herrera plays it ahead to him. That's been a connection today. Pops it right at Sané and calls it a day. Here is Sulaco, right, boom. Popper actually went up off the hand of Sané. From what we can see on the replay angle, this ball low on the ground, ends up in the upper rack.
Okay, so you won't let me do more than one thing at once. Okay. So a big win for Georgia Storm, 7 on the board at the University of West Georgia Stadium, and a 7-1 win over LSA Atletico Lanier. Your other matches were both draws. We talked to Dale Parker, the head coach of Appalachian FC, about this match against Apotheos that was last Saturday night at North Cobb Christian. Ended up a goalless draw. We'll catch up with Coach Parker coming up in just a little bit, and Adam Reakes, the head coach of Apotheos as well, to get their views heading up into the weekend that will be. The other match on the board, North Alabama SC and the Georgia Revs. It was a 1-1 draw at Jack Allen. We'll catch up with Jack Marchant as well coming up in just a little bit. So let's get you into the standings and lay out where things are right now as we head into match week number 8. Appalachian FC, North Alabama SC. That's going to be the match of the week. Right now, they are both 3-1-3, both with 12 points. Appalachian has 2 more goals, even though the goal difference is the same. 2 more goals scored right now at 14 versus 12 for North Alabama SC. Identical records, identical goal difference heading into match week 8 at 12 points. Georgia Revs, they're at 10 points at 2-1-4. 16 goals have been scored, 9 have been allowed. So they're at a goal difference of +7. Apotheos drawn 5 of their first 7 here in season number 1 in the NPSL Southeast. 8 goals scored, 8 against. They're in 4th with 8 points so far this year. Also at 8 points, it is LSA Atletico Lanier with a record of 2-3-2 and 8 points. They've given up 16 goals. Goal difference is going to end up being very, very costly if they can't make it up in the next handful of weeks. The 6 in the difference in the loss last week now gives them a goal difference of -9, giving up 16, having only scored 1 per match so far. And the big win for the Georgia Storm, their first of the season, that 1-5-1. They are really going to have to get some work done. 4 points that they've got to make up in 3 matches. They have 11 scored, 7 of them last week. They've given up 17. Their goal difference is -6, so keep an eye on that as we get closer for the remaining 3 matches in conference play in the Southeast. So let's take a look at the schedule and get you ready for what is going to be going on this weekend. Once again, reminder, Saturday nights consistently across the board. 7:30 is your start times. And all of these games this week are in the Eastern time zone. It is Apotheos going up against LSA Atletico Lanier at North Cobb Christian School at 7:30. As promised, here's head coach of Apotheos, Adam Reakes, to discuss what's been going on so far. So what have you thought about your first year as a head coach in a first-year club? What's it been like birthing this thing so far this season?
Challenging, but in a lot of good ways. Lots of roadblocks, lots of speed bumps along the way, but more to make us better and to make us stronger going forward. So all in all, I think it's been a challenge, but a real learning process for not just me, for the club and the owners and everyone involved in the club. So it's been a really enjoyable experience.
And when we talked before the season started, I know that we were looking at this conference and how competitive it is. And I mean, there was a point where 4 teams had identical records, I think, after match week 6. And I think that this conference, once again, has stacked itself up as one of the toughest around.
Yeah, I think you look at it, and really two game weeks can swing the conference. A couple of results can swing the conference in a multitude of directions, and I think that just shows that most of the time on any given day, 4 or 5 of the teams can all compete and beat each other on their day. So we've certainly had our fair share of unfortunate results. That's meant that we have gone from getting 3 points to getting 1, but we've shown that we can compete with everyone in the conference. We haven't disgraced ourselves by any means, but we would like to take some of those ties and turn them into wins, of course. So that's probably been one of our on-field challenges this year.
What's it been like up there at North Cobb Christian for you this year? I know that obviously things are new and folks are still trying to figure out what Apotheos is all about from a fan perspective, but what's it been like for the club to be up there at North Cobb Christian? What's the response been like so far?
Yeah, I think the community responds really, really well. It's right in the area of where the ownership really want to hit, in the Kennesaw, Ackworth, kind of even Marietta area. So it's central to everything there. And the school have been, pretty good about working with us and have been supportive of us in everything we've needed along the way. So yeah, I think we're really happy with how it's gone and how the facility's been useful for us.
Let's go back to last week and the traditional start time in the conference, 7:30 on a Saturday night. And that was pretty much where everything has gone across the board. You had Appalachian FC visiting. What were some of your takeaways in the goalless draw?
Another solid team performance from us. I think, it was a week where we were struggling. We went up to Georgia Revolution the week before and kind of got kicked around a little bit in terms of physicality, and the referee, I think, struggled to control that game. The officiating struggled to control that game a little bit, and so there was some rough and rowdy tackles going in, and because of that, we had some injuries that we had to nurse last week, and so we actually went into last week with probably our thinnest squad selection we could possibly have all season. We were really short-handed, lots of injuries and unavailabilities last Saturday. So we certainly weren't at 100% and at full strength. But I think Dale and everyone at Appalachian wouldn't mind me saying that I think over the course of the 90 minutes, we maybe edged the chances had, and probably should have walked away with 3 points. But the fact of the matter is, on reflection, it was two very good teams going at it, and I'm relatively happy with the point because of the scenario we were in with availability issues and injuries and selection of availability of teams. So yeah, I'm not too displeased. I thought it was a good team performance. We definitely didn't disgrace ourselves and make ourselves look worse than what we were. I think we put our week's practice into good use and gave a good account of ourselves on Saturday night. We were just maybe 1 goal going in, 2 goals going in short of having a really perfect performance.
And at the same time, you don't have to file any GPS navigations or anything like that. It's back-to-back home matches for you. What's study hall been like getting ready for LSA Atletico Lanier?
Difficult. LSA is one of the teams, unfortunately, in this conference where you just don't know what you're going to face week to week. I think they have their own availability and injury issues, and so and obviously have probably a large squad to select from. So yeah, it's really difficult. You have to kind of look at and account for several different scenarios and several different setups that they may come with. They went with one squad against us. They went with a different squad against Revolution, a different squad here, a different setup over there. So they're really difficult to kind of pinpoint and place what it is you're going to come up against on Saturday. So we've done a little bit of diving in, but a lot of what we're doing this week in training is a lot more focused on us and improving the pieces that we need to improve.
Match of the week, match number 2. Appalachian FC hosting North Alabama SC at Ted Mackerel. This one is also at 7:30. Dale Parker on last week and this week, a big match week 8. What'd you learn about yourself in a goalless draw?
Learned a lot about our resilience. I think in the moment we were disappointed to only come away with a point, but having zoomed out over the week, I think we'll look back. That's a really, really good point on the road against a really good team who were on the up. Almost similar to us last year. Once they found out who they were and once they got all their players in and started playing really well, a real force to be reckoned with. Wouldn't surprise me if Apotheos are right there or thereabouts at the end of the season. They're going to have a lot to say in who wins the championship this year. So yeah, all in all, a good point. Keeps us at the top of the table on goal difference, which is a nice little confidence booster. And yeah, we're glad we don't have to, well, fingers crossed, we don't have to go back there again this season.
And now you've got 1 versus 2 coming up here in the conference this weekend, but it's at your place. Now that you've kind of had the time to step back and learn about your match with Apotheos, what's study hall been like getting ready for this one?
I think we've been trying to focus on us a little bit more than we have in the past. I feel like, they're going to come up here with a lot of confidence. They're in second place. They know the ramifications if they beat us here, and they're going to be motivated by that. So at the same time, I think we should have the same kind of feeling. We're playing at home in front of probably our biggest crowd ever. It's 1 versus 2. If we can win the game, we really take a hold of the regular season first place. And with 2 games to go, that's where we want to be, in control of our own destiny. So we've been trying to focus on us and how we can execute. Going off the last time we played them, aside from the 2 horrific mistakes that we made, we felt like we were in control of the game. So if we can play like that in the home game and eliminate mistakes, again, it's about us. We don't have to worry about what they do if we can focus on what we do. So we're looking at it from that perspective as well, being motivated to win the game and not too worried about what they're going to do and execute what we're good at.
Then the last one on the board, Revs and Storm. This one is in a different location, not at McDonough High School. This week it is at Locust Grove High School. And so we caught up with Jack Marchant, the head coach of the Revs, about this big matchup for them as they are just below the top of the ladder in the NPSL Southeast. So wait a second. We're doing this week. I'm here and you're out west. What's going on?
I'm out here for my my full-time job, believe it or not. Yeah, I'm doing some recruiting out here for Georgia State. Right. But I'll be back for the weekend.
Okay, so let's talk about last weekend and run through what happened there. It was a long roadie to North Alabama to take on North Alabama SC. It was a 1-1 draw at Jack Allen. What sticks in your mind after this one?
We got off to a slow start, but I think that's expected. I mean, again, we spent 3.5 hours on a bus. We left a touch earlier because the under-19s played before us, so it's kind of a lot of sitting around. We were slow to get going, but once we did, I mean, I felt at times we were untouchable. And it's been a theme for us, I feel, this season is we've had really good moments in a lot of games, and at times we've struggled to capitalize on them. And but this week, last week we did. I mean, scored a good goal. Chemo touched one in at the back post, and I thought from there we were going to kick on. I mean, halftime we chatted about just doing more of the same. And when we have these good moments, we got to capitalize on because North Alabama are a good team, and you don't want teams like that hanging around because they're going to get chances. And then we started the second half like a house on fire. I mean, we put together some moves that I think some MLS teams would be proud of, and their keepers made one unbelievable save. But again, it's the same old story for me every week. Like an officiating decision has changed the game completely, turned it on its head. And we go down to 10 men with half an hour to go. And to be fair to the lads, I mean, they dug deep. But in the end, 10 minutes and we'll take a point. It's a good point on the road.
And now once you return back here for Saturday night at 7:30, it's at Locust Grove High School. I have to remind that of folks. At Locust Grove High, Revs and Storm. What are you anticipating?
They're going to be flying. I mean, again, they picked up a big win last week. They're going to be riding a wave. We have to just do what we do and control what we can control. And again, I'm sure not only will they be flying high after a big win, but I'm sure they'll be looking for some redemption for what we did at West Georgia to them. So we just got to make sure that we're switched on and we do what we can do. And again, it's been one of those things where you're kind of disappointed after results because you see that other results go your way and we can't take advantage of it. But we're getting to the point in the season now where 3 points are almost going to feel like 6 because you're running out of games. So it's important that we take care of business on Saturday and we put ourselves in a position where we're starting to cement the top 4 at least, and then we kick on for the top 2.
Because right now, the way things stand, Revs are third, 2 points behind App and North Alabama, who are at 3-1-3. You're at 2-1-4, 2 points behind. And then you've got 2 teams in Apotheos and Atletico Lanier who are behind you at 8 points with only a handful of matches to go. This is that logjam in a different form where now 5 teams are chasing after 4 when you had 4 that had the identical record only a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, I mean, and like I said, it's getting to the point now where 3 points is certainly going to feel like 6 because you're going to put some distance between yourself and other teams with games running out. For us, I mean, looking at the fixtures, we've obviously got to take care of what we can take care of. But I believe North Alabama are at Appalachian this week, so the 2 teams above us. So someone's going to drop points, or they both are. And then again, with Apotheos playing LSA, again, it's the same thing. So we can potentially find ourselves top of the league and put our distance between the team in fifth, because currently that's our goal, is putting distance between the team in fifth and us. And then if we do that, we're then next week we're talking about putting some distance between us and the team in third. So we're hosting that first round of playoffs.
So those are your matchups. That's your look at the grid, and it is a very tightly wound playoff race. 3 matches to go here as we are in match week number 8. Match weeks 8, 9, and 10 will decide who makes it to the postseason, and the first steps are this week. Reminder, if you are in the vicinity of North Cobb Christian School, the Ted Mackerel Soccer Complex, or Locust Grove High, and you can catch the action of the NPSL, please do so. Quality competition going on here in the Southeast, and you get the chance to see it firsthand. If you are around but you can't make it, follow along on your local providers, and also if you are out of market and still want to follow along in the Southeast, follow along at 11 Sports, and that is ELEVEN Sports.com, and you can follow along and you can set reminders for your favorite NPSL teams as to the matches that they're a part of. Get your notifications so when you can dial things up at 7:30 on a Saturday night, you will not miss out on any information. That's your quick look at everything going on in the NPSL Southeast. For everybody here at SDH, I'm just John. Play it safe, everybody. Enjoy the matchups this weekend.